I want to talk about the stuff that happened to me this year, so far this year, and the crazy things that happens. And I want to broadcast this to the world so people can understand what is happening around, how detached humans have become after 1 year in seclusion. Basically 1 year in jail, the entire nation, the entire planet in jail, basically. No longer utilizing human senses, no longer interacting with one another, no longer being themselves. So now what is happening is they are completely conditioned with 1 year of watching just television and shows that condition your mind, basically making you a slave, is going insane out there. I'm going to give you one example of that. Several examples of that. Getting into a restaurant and ordering food at a Mexican restaurant, and no one knows how to speak Castilian. So I always make an issue of that so people can understand, so people can realize what is happening to themselves, to them. So there is a guy coming with a name, Raul Rodriguez. And I asked the man, I want somebody to take my order in Castilian. And the guy say, what kind of language is that? So I look at him like, that is an Iberian, a language from the Iberia Peninsula. So I explained to him that all these languages from the Iberia Peninsula are Spanish languages, because used to be the province of Hispania, a Roman jurisdiction. I have no idea what I'm talking about. So they're looking at me like I'm crazy. So they bring somebody else, and then they sort of like, they don't know what to say. So they bring somebody else. They bring an Anglo-Saxon man now. So, and apparently it's the manager. So they bring this Anglo-Saxon man, and I say, please, can I have someone who speak my language, and I can order in the menu. All what I'm looking at is local languages, names of local food, like I don't know, tacos, gorditas, and so on. I want someone that speaks the language to help me order. And the guy said to me, I don't speak Spanish. And I said to him, me neither. I do not speak Spanish myself. I speak Castilian. And please, can you give me somebody who can speak Castilian? Oh boy. Long story short, I have to leave the place. They sort of like run me out of the place. That is one instance. So I am in Arizona, ordering food on a Mexican restaurant. They say Mexican food and they cannot speak the language, the local language, because the local language is not English. So that means that they have become so Angloized that we need to break that up, I think. I think we need to protect the culture of that place. Okay, so I go to a different place, and now I'm going to a church in Tucson. And there comes the preacher out, because I did not want to speak English inside the church. Every single time that I enter a Roman church, I either speak Latin to practice, or Castilian. That is the language the people who build these churches. So of course they have issue with that, and it was an Anglo-Saxon. Well, it was not actually an Anglo-Saxon. It turned out the fellow was from Poland. His family came from Poland in the 1950s. So he actually grew up locally, and he became a Roman priest, and now he's Anglo-nized. So he's no longer a peasant European. They came in to basically take over the geography. Now he is a Anglo-Saxon, an Englishman, and he spoke like an Englishman and act like it. So he was completely conditioned. Of course, by the time I finished with him, he was completely reconditioned. But he did not kick me out of that place because he was a preacher, but he wanted to. You can tell his demeanor. And I just calmly accepted his demeanor until he realized that it was no way he could cross the Milvian Bridge. Like I told him, listen, you will never cross the Milvian Bridge with me. And he realized, oh crap, this guy knows what the Milvian Bridge is. So actually I educated him quite a lot. He asked me for the symbols of the church, and I know all the symbols of the church, all the Catholic symbols. Remember, the Catholic is universal. The Catholic royals of Spain, or Isabella de Trastamara and Ferdinando of Aragon. So I explained to him all the signs and so on. And he asked me about the lions and it's Castilla y León, Leonese, from that part of the Iberia Peninsula. So he quite, understood a lot and accepted it. He actually wanted to learn. And he started calling the local Indians, and I rectify that every time. Because the people who live in those lands, they are not Indians. They are locals, they are originals. And in some instance, they are actually from the Philippines. I've seen a lot of Philippines a lot of names from Hawaii and so on. And people don't realize that as they grow, because they born in the area without an education, a correct education. They educate them, but the education they give them is the guy who built the church is a Spaniard. He spoke Spanish, and he is a slave owner. Always they tell you that the Spaniards are the bad guys. So they grow through their lives thinking the Spanish Empire is the bad guys. So they have that in their mind. But they have names, their last names, they are basically from the Pacific. And I never tell them, hey, you're a Pacific Islander. And you came here because the Spanish Empire also include the Philippines, include Hawaii, Guam, Puerto Rico, and that is where your biology is coming from. You are not an Indian. So I keep repeating that. So that is another example that happened to me. I better not make this any longer. But the last one, I guess, that I can remember was actually 2 days ago. Or yesterday. Today's Monday. It was yesterday. It was Sunday. It was yesterday. I'm doing quite a lot, so that way, my day is going one over another. A lady walking her dog, one ugly dog. I mean, it looked just like her. So of course, I'm never going to tell a human, "Hey, you are an ugly lady. You look like your dog." No wonder people think the people who owns dog, look like them. I'm not going to tell her that. So I tried to actually cheer her, because you can see that she was lonely just walking her dog, And I say hi to her, and then I say to her, "Happy Easter." And I noticed that she did not respond to me. And every time that people do not respond to me, it's like, it's a need that I have to find out why they did not respond to me, and what those intentions are. Because as you move through a space, people are looking at you, and people are thinking of you. Is our how can I say, our identities, is the way we are. We have personalities, and one of the personalities that we have is how people look at us, how people perceive us. So that is, to me, is interests me quite a lot, how people perceive me. So I wanted to know why she was thinking when I actually greet her, Happy Easter, you have a beautiful dog. And she made fun of the way my accent. So now I understood what was happening. That she was perceiving me as an enemy, as a person who does not belong here. But she had a hell of a Yankee accent. So, so I did not let it go. I wanted to basically feel good of myself, if you will, empower. So I say to her, that is correct. I cannot pronounce happy too well because I do not speak English. I speak United States of America. And I am not a Yankee because you sound like a Yankee. Are you a Yankee? And she looked at me like, what just happened? So I start mimicking her walking an invisible dog. And then when I return on the way back, she's still there. And I was waiting for something going on, but nothing happened. She just looked at me, and I told her, hey, pick up the crap that dog is leaving in my grass. And she say something another day, she will pick it up or something, but she did not pick it up. And so that is sense that happen all the time, very sublime. The people no longer are together. People are like looking at others like enemies. Why? This lady have how can I say, a conflict with someone asking or greeting her. And the reason is they see that they're losers with dogs, animals. They love animals more than other humans, watching CNN and NPR telling them that they are Americans and that they are the best in the world, until somebody look at them and say, you look just like your dog. Clean your hands after you pick the shit that dog is leaving behind. And you sound like a Yankee. You have an accent. You are a Polish of Russian or some of them place, and you're going to tell me that you are better than I? So that is the conflict that is happening every single day, and that is why we have Black Lives Matter. That is why we have now on television every single day the Ferguson tribulations and the Floyd trials and all this craziness happening, because we have ceased to be humans. Now we are just followers. We no longer have a modern, a natural state. Now we are creating something that we're not. And that is extremely dangerous, because it can reach a point where no one is related to no one, and you can no longer produce nothing. Remember this. Today we speak English in the United States of America because industrialization. They needed a language to connect everyone to do a job. When the government of Colorado went into Lodi, Colorado, go and check this out, and massacre everybody. That was the beginning of what we have today. Is industrialists analyzing situations to make people work. And you cannot make people work when they are not together. When they look at each other as enemies and competitive all the time, the level of stress will rise to the point that you cannot produce. And that is something that is going to be critical here soon if they don't realize that. And this craziness needs to be being looking at by our institutions. The people who are studying us, they are conditioned themselves. They are conditioned by the enemies of the United States of America. They don't have a true view of the United States of America. All they do is sitting up there taking in data that is not correct. That data is corrupt. When the data is corrupt, the decisions made are erroneous. Infrastructure in the United States right now. Oh, we're going to build and we're going to build and we're going to build. Listen, if you don't get a hold of yourselves up there and realize the infrastructure, the way we're going to build is not what we need right now. When you start analyzing the head of the Department of Transportation, is the head of the Department of Transportation, goes out there on television on C-SPAN or BBC London or whatever, because basically we're taking over by the BBC London, and completely make an ass of himself. The only reason that he's there is because LBGD or whatever. This man have never ever driven a truck, never driven a train, a ship, flew an airplane. He have never worked in the middle of the night in a snowstorm driving a machine to bring you your fuel. He have no idea of reality. He's just repeating what somebody else is pointing out to him. So basically they're making decisions of data coming in that he have no idea what it's about. He just making decision of the data being presented. So I think the problem that we have is those people presenting the data. We need to recondition these people. We need to put correct people with correct ideas that visualize reality. Another day they were interviewing Secretary of Energy. This lady, she don't know how to turn a screwdriver. Why do we have a lady as a Secretary of Energy telling me American people, the American people, and American people, and the all in American people? She is just repeating. She is completely conditioned. She have no idea what and how to wire a house or wire a semi. No idea. Guarantee you that she have never have technical skills in her hands ever. And she's running the Department of Energy. I wonder what did she know about drilling. I wonder what did she know about fracking. I wonder what did she know about how to transport oil safely, how to refine it, what it takes. No, she doesn't know. She just repeats. They bring her data and she, with her thing in her mind, who knows how she thinks, come out with decisions. And these decisions are destroying us, are destroying the planet. And that is very important. So the people who are actually leading us have no idea. They just repeaters selling. One example of that, Mr. Trump and Mr. Biden. There is no difference in between these two men. Zero. They are one and the same. They are immigrants to the United States of America, and they have no knowledge of who actually built it. So I better stop my ranting because it's just taking too long. And this is my new setup, my new camera setup that I have, and I'm testing it. So I don't know how it's gonna work out, but please support the channel if you can. And defend the United States of America and make sure that if you are part of an institution of the United States of America, make sure that you pay attention who is leading you and who their benefits lie, why they benefit, they have receiving benefits, why are they want to lead the United States of America. My neighbor is an electrician. If you turn him loose, he can run the Department of Energy very efficiently because he is an electrician. That is my point. Well, saludos, and pay attention to your surroundings all the time because people are looking at you. Saludos.